Hello everyone, welcome back to The Raw Deal. I'm Christy, I hope you're doing well. I've been excited to share this video with you about my top 10 tips when creating healthy, realistic, long-lasting eating habits. My eating habits back in the days sucked. I used to weigh close to 300 pounds. And I've been able to lose 100 of those pounds and keep it off over that time. And you definitely can't do that with the kind of eating habits that I had. One thing you will learn about me is that I speak only from personal experience. And I don't have any kind of degree in health and nutrition, or I'm not a paid professional in the health and wellness industry yet. But I've spent the past 5 to 6 years figuring out what really works for me and what doesn't. I am gonna save my weight loss story for another video, maybe 2 videos, because there's quite a bit to unpack there. But creating healthy eating habits and my weight loss story kind of go hand in hand, because I lost weight because I created better habits. These top 10 tips that I've created over the past several years, I call them the 3 C's, and the 10 tips are broken down in all 3 of those categories. And those categories are create, cultivate, and celebrate. And it is definitely a lifestyle for me now. 1,000,000%, I will never go back to those old eating habits that I had at all. Just to give you a little sneak peek into what I ate in a day, it's very embarrassing, but very accurate. For breakfast, I would have like a mixing bowl size of cereal, sugary cereal with cold, full-fat milk. I would have probably 2 to 3 bowls of that mixing size bowl, not the little soup bowl, the little big bowl. I probably had a Pop-Tart or 2 to go along with that cereal. For lunch, I would throw a couple of Hot Pockets in the microwave with a side of chips. And by side of chips, I mean an actual full-size bag of Cheetos, Doritos, Ruffles, Lay's, whatever was buy one, get one free or on sale, I ate all of those, yeah. For dinner, I would have 2 to 3 plates of all things starchy, more gravy, extra butter on everything, of course. On top of that, I would graze all day long. I would have granola bars, crackers, peanut M&Ms, anything really I could find. Homegirl over here would eat it. Those horrible eating habits that I had were scary and they were destructive. As I changed my eating habits, I had to shift my mindset. I could not incorporate anything good, positive, and serving in my life until I shifted my mindset. And that leads me to my first tip, which is to believe in yourself. That first tip, believing in yourself, it is essential. These tips that I'm going to share with you today, I believe causes us to self-reflect, and it helps us to take accountability for ourselves and any kind of behaviors or patterns that we're doing or not doing that brings us closer to our goal. Getting back to the 3 C's, create, cultivate, and celebrate. When we are creating, what we're doing is essentially setting our intentions. Tip number 1, again, above all else, believe in yourself. Sometimes it's not the easiest thing in the world to do, and it takes a lot of work, I know, but I'm telling you, you can do this. Tip number 2 is to state your what and your why. What habit are you wanting to incorporate and why? What helped me greatly with this is to write down 3 lists. Back in the day when I started eating better and started incorporating more healthy habits into my diet, I never wrote down my plan of action. I just kept it in here, which is really dangerous. But I finally started writing things down, and it really helped me a lot. I made 3 lists. The first one, I asked myself, what top 3 qualities about myself do I feel that will make including this habit doable for me? And hold on to those, you're gonna need them. The second list I made was, what behavior patterns am I showing or not showing right now that I could probably start working on to make the habit more realistic for me? It's my husband. Look, baby, I put my rose in. Look, baby, I put my rose in.
I saw that.
Sorry about that. Husband came home, I had to give him a kiss. I had to reapply my lipstick. Anyways, when I first started learning how to self-reflect, I would start criticizing myself really, really badly. And that's just not good. So try not to do that when you're just trying to reflect and take accountability for what you're doing and not doing in order to get closer to that goal or to include that habit. All this is doing is simply practicing self-awareness. That's it. You don't have to make these lists. You don't have to do any of this. I'm just letting you know what's worked for me. Tip number 3 is to envision how this habit will improve your diet or lifestyle. I've never been one to plan anything out or to envision myself doing anything in any kind of way. So keeping that vision right in the forefront of my mind really helped me kind of stay on track and remember where I was going and why. The second C is to cultivate. And when I cultivated my plan, I needed a thoughtful approach to doing that. So tip number 4 is to ask yourself, given your current daily schedule and the mental load you're able to carry right now, decide the time of day and frequency you can be practicing this habit. I suggest aiming for that and not setting it in stone. Be flexible if you need to be. Also, phone reminders and alarms work really, really well. Tip number 5 is to stay focused and positive as much as possible. Pretty much everybody that I know is carrying quite a heavy load at this time. And it is so easy to be negative and to lose track and to think about all the things we're not doing right and to think about all the reasons that we should stop. And what works for me is to take a few deep breaths, remember who I am, remember what I'm doing, remember why I'm doing it, and believe that I got this. That helps me stay focused and positive because I know I can do it. If you're having a crappy day and you fall off the wagon, I have news for you. I do not believe there's any wagon at all. I believe that we are human beings first and foremost. We as human beings need to allow ourselves to feel. We need to allow ourselves a crappy day here and there. If you want a cheeseburger, eat a dang cheeseburger. Just don't have 2, don't have 3. Just allow yourself some flexibility and don't be so hard on yourself. I probably shouldn't encourage you to eat a cheeseburger, but that's how I feel. And I firmly believe in finding balance in all things. It's what has helped me. It has helped me get to where I am today. So I don't really feel that bad because it works. That's a great segue into tip number 6, which is to be human. Allow yourself to feel, allow yourself to have balance in all things. It's okay. It's okay. It's no big deal. Because remember, the goal is repetition, not perfection. We have talked about 2 of the 3 C's. We've talked about creating when we're setting our intentions. We have talked about cultivating when we are developing a mindful, thoughtful approach to a realistic plan of action. I've shared with you 6 of my 10 tips. Now we're going to talk about the third C, which is to celebrate. That is our daily reward that for me does not include food. Tip number 7 is celebrate the moment you remember to practice the habit. Tip number 8 is to celebrate as you're practicing it, because that's more than half the battle. Tip number 9 is to celebrate immediately after you do it. I know it sounds really stupid, but I give myself mental high fives. But I'm really proud of myself for doing it because maybe an hour ago something happened and you wouldn't want to do it then, but in this moment you remembered to do it, and that's awesome. Another way to celebrate is to buy yourself something new, a new shirt or a new accessory, a new book. Download a movie you've been wanting to watch on Netflix or wherever and be proud of yourself. My 10th tip, last but not least, is something that I live by every single day in every aspect of my life, is to do what you can when and where you can. Not overloading yourself with too many expectations or trying to be perfect. That any healthy eating habit that you're wanting to incorporate into your diet or lifestyle, you can totally do it. Just be kind to yourself, know that you can do it, and get it done. Those are the 3 C's that have been a fantastic guide for me to follow over the past 5 years. I encourage you all to take the time to retraining your brain and shifting your mindset when and where you need to, because it works. Remember, this is all purely food for thought, my personal experience in the many, many trials and errors in forming healthy eating habits. As we know, there are countless different roads that we can take that ultimately lead to the same destination. This just happens to be mine. I hope I wasn't all over the place and that it all made sense, and most of all that you found the information valuable. Thank you for sharing space with me today by watching this video. Please comment if you have anything to add. I would love to hear from you. If you want to see more chats like this, please subscribe to this channel, click like, and share. This is Christy, and as always, stay encouraged and empowered. See you soon.